I'm sitting here shooting from my apartment in Amsterdam because we're finally here. So this week we focused on the more political side of this class. So we talked about like where the tolerance that Amsterdam and the Netherlands are so famous for comes from, and actually historically it comes from the businessmen wanting people to feel like people of all religions to feel welcome. So even though like Holland was primarily Protestant, the merchants wanted to keep everything open and like make sure like the Catholics and the Jews and everybody else felt welcome. So that's where the tolerance came from, which I thought was kind of cool. Like it was definitely something that I wouldn't have thought of on my own, but it makes a lot of sense that, business would be kind of behind it because let's face it, money rules the world. We also talked a lot about how the political system is set up here. So it's made up of a whole bunch of minority groups, and then when like one group has power, it's a coalition. So it's just like two groups coming together and compromising. So I think that's an awesome setup because usually, like in the U.S., we have just a majority, and then kind of like that party's agenda, and maybe other parties can stop it, but you never really know. And I don't know. I guess I just like the idea of compromise in a government, and I think things will work out better for the people that way. The political parties here are based off of like this triangle of ideologies, they call it. And so the three main lines that separate it are morality, which is more the ethical issues, social issues, and then your economic issues. I like that setup because in America, it's pretty much one party or the other. But in Amsterdam, they give you that choice. And because of the three lines, there's like six different kind of main groups that form off that. So I like the depth and diversity that they have here from that. We got to do a tour of the red light district this week. So that was cool. It was one of the things that I was most looking forward to on the trip. So it was kind of cool, like walking around and, seeing it in action. Like it's one thing to hear about how, Amsterdam has legalized prostitution, and it's another to see it. So it was cool, but it was also a very different experience because I'm not used to just walking down the street and seeing like half naked women in windows, ready to do their work. So it was definitely cool to see, although it was a little awkward just because I wasn't 100% sure how to act. This week we learned primarily through doing readings before class and then having lectures in class. And then we also got like a little side field trip, I guess, going to the red light district. And like that all works for me. I'm a pretty easy learner. Like pretty much any method a teacher has works for me. So I was cool with it. So my little story of the week is that happened on Wednesday, and it's when I got lost biking on the way to school. So most people are familiar with that, considering I wasn't in class. But yeah, I ended up getting lost for about 2.5 hours. I was in the general area. I just couldn't find the right building, and it was raining, and it sucked. So that's all the time I have for this vlog, so I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you next week.